Hello, guys. Good morning. How are you? Good morning. No, good afternoon. Good afternoon. We are going to have class today at 2, but I was looking through Scotland and we have practically finished it. What we have here is more reading and some kind of exercises I'd rather have you doing in a different format and not necessarily in class. So I'm going to close Scotland here on this video, the stuff here on the book, and then I'm making another video for grammar. Okay. So that today we can do the practice test at the end of the book. I think it's going to be a very interesting thing for us to do. Okay. So starting, we finish the listening, and then let me get my slides because we start asking some questions about what kind of competitions are there to test how strong men are. Can you think of any competitions that are not the same, because the Highland Games are something very specific of the uh, Scot culture. But can you think of any other competitions that exist to test how strong men are? Don't feel crazy if you are talking to me on the computer, because it is normal. Okay, everybody, when they are starting to speak English, they will speak English to the screen or to themselves. It's part of the process, and it's good because you don't have to feel embarrassed if you make a mistake. It's only you and you. Okay, so can you think of any competitions that there are to show how strong men are? You can pause me and answer. Okay, if you don't, I have some here to share with you that I have prepared. I don't know what's the name. I think it's Força Bruta or something. There are events that happen all over the world, and then these guys will, I don't know if this is for Sabulut or if this is some kind of extreme CrossFit, but it's a good example. And here, not only for a woman, even though in the thing it's a barrel, she's lifting is a strong man, but here we have a strong woman. Okay, and here I made a mistake. The guy was lifting the weight, and the picture was behind them, or when it was supposed to be in front. And here we have this guy. He became famous because he was part of the Game of Thrones. He was the mountain, the feared mountain, Gregor Clegane. But he's in real life, he's a champion of this kind of sports, of this kind of demonstrations, trained demonstrations. It's a little primitive, if you are into it. Okay. What's your opinion about this? So for me, it's okay. It's a little primitive. As long as nobody's inviting me to go, for me, it's fine. And for you, what's your opinion on this? Okay. You can pause me, answer. Don't be ashamed if you're talking to a screen or your cell phone. It's part of life. If you want, if there is any of this where you can really elaborate some longer answers and you want to send me an audio, that would also be awesome. Okay. Are there similar competitions to this here in Brazil? Can you remember that? No? Mm-hmm. think I think we have some of this Força Bruta here in Brazil. Last year there was this big event and Arnold Schwarzenegger was here. It was kind of interesting. So a request here on page 68. I put 67 on the slide, but it's wrong. It's 68. You have this box full of expressions that you can use to make and to say yes or no to a request. What I want is for you to create a dialogue using these expressions, asking for a favor or declining. So you comply, you can whether comply, say yes, or decline, say no. So for example, here there are some situations you can use in your own thing. So Can you, for example, I'm going to make a mock situation here. Um, Mabel, I'm about to travel for a few weeks when I can. It's not true. Would you mind would you mind looking after my hamster for me? It's a very sweet hamster. You don't have to play, just clean the cage. Mabel, if she is a very nice and a little bit crazy person, because I don't like taking care of other people's pets, but that's me. If you are okay with that, I say, oh, certainly, Danny, I love to help. So just tell me what I need to do. Just tell me if I need to clean the thing, the crates every day. Or if Mabel is a little bit more realistic, she may say, oh, I'm sorry, but I am allergic to hamsters. When people say no to stuff, it's normal that after they will come with an excuse. So I'm sorry, but I'm allergic, so I really can't. But it's not a rule. If you are comfortable just saying no, just no, sorry, it's impossible. Very courageous, like, no, I can't. Or you can ask for a little bit more crazy stuff, like, I had this wedding of a friend from school, and I don't want to go alone. Would you be okay pretending to be my boyfriend or pretending to be my girlfriend? Is that okay for you? If you're comfortable with this make believe stuff and you want to live this adventure, so no problem. Let's go. Have a lot of delicious wedding cake and maybe it will be fun. Or if you are not comfortable lying or deceiving people, you say, oh, I just can't. I don't think that kind of thing is good. I may blow your whole thing up. All right? So you write this dialogue. It doesn't have to be long and send to me. Then we are going to the text. The text here talks about two very famous Scottish Scottish lakes. One is the Loch Lomond and the other is Loch Ness. This first here is Loch Lomond, okay? You can download this audio on Cyberfisk, and I suggest that you listen and read at the same time. That's a good practice for listening, learning pronunciation, or enforcing pronunciation, okay? Read first the one about Loch Lomond. It's in the middle of a national park, and it's interesting because even though it is a preservation area, it was already heavily exploited because England, Scotland has a long history already. If you are at the next, so you go into Loch Ness, that is very notorious because of this crazy legend of this creature, Nessie. If you watch it, How I Met Your Mother, there is this character there who is crazy about this lake and Nessie. And I think they spent their honeymoon. Uh, he and his wife, what's her name, Lily and Marshall, they spent their honeymoon in Scotland because of this lake. It's also an interesting story. So go read, listen, download the audio, and pause me because now we're going to correct the questions. Okay, did you do the questions? Yeah, so let's correct them. What made Loch Lomond become famous? So what made the Loch Lomond become famous? The fact that the first Scottish National Park was created in the area surrounding the lake. Does Loch Lomond and the Trossachs National Parks area belong to the government? No, it doesn't. In the text, they say the majority of the land is in private ownership. So most of the land belongs to individuals too. You know. 3, what made Loch Ness become famous? I kind of already answered that. 3. the monster that is believed, that people believe, live in the dark water. See here is that use of passive voice when you are not sure of the information. The monster that is believed to live in the dark water. So I'm not saying that no, there's a monster there. Just heard people believe it, so it is believed. And what benefit did the legend of Nessie bring about? It increased tourism. A lot of people go there, but even if it is not about the monster, it's also about the lake. The lake is very interesting. Okay, so let me stop sharing here. So that's it. That will conclude Scotland. And after that, you have your own legendary creature. The country is full of legendary creatures. When we talked about Sasquatch, we talked about it a little bit. I think it was more briefly, but we did discuss it. So, it's your turn. A few years ago, when I taught this class, there was being a legend in São José about this monster. São José here, São José do Itaporã. It was called Albidibri, and people were telling that it was a monster that came at late at night. It would scratch, the doors. It was a crazy story, and it was a few years ago, I think 5 years ago. So, can you think of a legendary creature? Write about it. What are the characteristics? If it had increased tourism somewhere in the country, okay? And see you soon for the practice test. Bye bye, guys.